Hey there, you guys. Welcome back. Today I just wanted to touch base with you and let you know that finally, I'm feeling a little bit more motivated with my orchids. I've got this stake in my way. And they're finally starting to bloom, and I don't seem to have mealybugs. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, as I knock on the the 2x4s here at the side. Anyway, I've been using that insecticidal soap spray that I showed you that I was using. I don't know. It was a few videos ago, and it seems to be working really good. It's got a mixture of horticultural oil. I'm using soft soap. I might switch to Castile soap because it's natural and supposedly that works even better. But the soft soap seems to be working okay. A little bit of apple cider vinegar, and I'm using a little bit of peppermint oil. It wasn't because it was in the recipe, it's just something that I added because, for one, I like the smell of peppermint, and also peppermint oil is a deterrent for a lot of things. From what I understand, Ilona, you told me that it's peppermint is not great for cats, so just keep in mind if you're a pet owner, you might want to look up some of the ingredients before you make this stuff yourself. Everything seems fine. We use peppermint oil for other things, or peppermint for other things. But some animals, it can be maybe an irritant or not healthy. So just keep it in mind. Again, it smells so nice when I spray now. I used to use neem oil, and that just smelled terrible. I come downstairs and it would just be gross. So love the peppermint, so good, and it seems to be working really well. It's probably the horticultural oil and the soap it's suffocating the little insects. So this year, on all of my other tropicals, just to touch base about that, is I have not had a spider mite outbreak this season, and usually by now I'm losing leaves left, right, and center because of spider mites. I still lose leaves because I'm bringing them in from outside, and naturally the lower light, they're just going to start to deteriorate. But this year they're doing not too bad. Actually, they're not really shrinking in size as much as they usually do, and I still have some of the bigger leaves left from the fall. And usually by now, all of the old leaves are gone, and I'm just getting smaller, piddly growth. But I'm so excited. I'll bring you guys on a tour, maybe next week, of what is going on in the grow space right now. But we're getting through winter now, and we're getting closer to spring, so it's about time that we start talking about what things are looking like and what they're doing right now. Again, nothing's pretty, so don't look for a beautiful, lush video, but they will be in good shape to go outside and start growing the way that they should very soon. So, I wanted to show you in this video the orchids that I have that are finally in bloom, and the blooms are staying on because the damn mealybugs are not on them. Haha! Amazing. It's been so long. It's been years since I've had good flowers and them lasting, because they would start to open and then immediately they'd be mealybug bait. And within, usually a Phalaenopsis will each flower, usually a month and a half, 2 months, is how long they should last under good care. And I was getting them for maybe the first one or two would open. They would last for maybe 5 days, and then the other ones would slowly start to blast because the mealybugs would come in force, and I don't know where they came from, because the day before they would have nothing, and then I'd wake up in the morning and there's mealybugs everywhere, so they're drawn to it. So anyway, this is my papillo. Look at that. This is Psychopsis papillo, so butterfly orchid. This one is I was going to say systemic. What is it called? Anyway, it blooms on old spikes, so you don't want to cut off the spikes because it will sequential bloomer. They bloom in sequence. So this one has 3 flower spikes that are actively going. I have 2 that need to be cut off, but I'm lazy, so they're still there. But 3 that are constantly producing. But right now, all 3 of them are in flower right now. So how cool is that? I did a video a few years ago on repotting of this, and here's the plant. The leaves aren't anything to write home about, But when you get multiple flower spikes, it's really, really cool, because if you get enough flower spikes and you treat your plant well, many times you're going to have a constant flower all the time, because as one finishes, another one's starting to open, and it keeps going that way, and it's a constant thing. And these flowers last maybe 3 weeks each flower, so it's a really nice succession of blooms. So usually there's something happening all the time on this plant. I do neglect this one. I water it very irregularly. I know, it's my thing, and it does okay. It does okay. Right now, the media, the moss, is bone dry. So I will need to water this after the video. I will soak it. I've got a fertilizer hookup right on the tap, so it's going to inject the fertilizer in, and it's going to get it some food. This is actually upstairs in a window, and it gets forgotten. We don't use that living room very often. And yeah, so I'm going to finally give it a little bit of food, which it's probably really, really looking forward to. I'm going to put it off to the side because it's kind of in my way. So another one that really needs to be repotted, and I was going to repot it, and then just like the weekend that I was going to repot it, I'm like, oh, now there's a spike. Normally, I would love to see a spike, but this has been years. This needs to be repotted so bad that it's suffering, but it started to bloom. One of the buds blasted, and I was hoping that this one would blast too, but it didn't. Listen to me, I'm hoping a bud blasts. That's terrible. So this one blooms religiously every spring for me. It's a bulldog path, and that flower is really, really beautiful. So this plant has been in this pot for many, many years. The soil really needs to be changed. Soil, I apologize. It's in a moss bark mix, and as you can see, the fans are not even in the soil anymore. It's grown and grown and grown. I think it's been in this pot for probably, I'm going to say 3 or 4 years. It's been a long time, and both of them are really, really, you can't even see. See how far that is out? So with Paphiopedilums, they like to be in contact. They're a terrestrial orchid. They like to be in contact with the media in order to produce a root. So they're not going to produce air roots like other things, like a Phalaenopsis, like a Vanda. They're not going to do that. They're only going to produce roots into a nice, moist, damp media. And if they don't have that damp media, they just don't do anything. So I've got this poor thing. It's not sitting in any media, and yeah, I don't know how it's doing so well, and it doesn't look very good. So anyway, I need to repot this. It's going to be done as soon as this flower dies, and once it does, it's going to have a new lease on life. I've already promised one of these 2 halves to a friend. So Ilona, when this gets repotted, I'll keep them for a couple of months probably to make sure that it's okay, and then one of them is yours. So I just watered this one this morning with a nice fertilizer water, and then here I've got 2 Phalaenopsis. So Phalaenopsis are the magnets for mealybugs, but this has gone without any mealybugs the whole time. So this has been in bloom for probably about a month now, and I love it. It's not my favorite color. I was given this to by a friend. She can't get them to rebloom in her home because it's a very constant temperature. These grocery store Phalaenopsis need to be in. They need the temperature fluctuation. They need a drop in temperature at night. Usually we get that in the spring and in the fall. Naturally, but if you keep your thermostat at a constant temperature all the time, day and night, it's really hard to get these Phalaenopsis to rebloom. So keep that in mind. If you do have a home that doesn't really fluctuate much, keep it in a cooler room for a while, or put it closer to a window. Usually closer to a window, if it's cooler, it will try to do the same effect. But yeah, she gave this to me because they were going to toss it, and I was supposed to repot it is what I was supposed to do. It's still in the same pot. It's terrible. And the poor thing. But it's blooming, and it's looking pretty. So I'm very happy about that. I'm going to move this off to the side. That I keep in the kitchen window. I like to have things, my phals in the kitchen window because I can water the aerial roots. And then this is another one that I got. This I got from Cloud's Orchids, and it's a mini phal. And I bought this, I think it was on sale for like $5, and it didn't have all of these aerial roots. I love doing watering this in the kitchen because the aerial roots, I just water the crap out of it. I put it on the shower function, on the tap, and I make sure everything is beautiful and green. And I do this every time I wash the dishes, or maybe not every time, every couple of days. I don't necessarily water the little pot. This needs to be repotted. It's in a tiny little plastic pot, as you can see. And yeah, it's not fragrant. Oh, it's so cute. It's adorable. It's so small. So hopefully it never gets to be much bigger than that. I really enjoy the little flowers. So again, Phalaenopsis, no mealybugs. Fingers crossed it doesn't receive any. What else do I have? Oh, and just in general, I'm starting to feel a little bit more motivated. I've got, what one is this one? This one is, I think this is Alicera. I think that's what it's called, Alicera. Halo Ablaze. This one's gonna have beautiful flowers. There's no flower spikes on this one, but I'm starting to get new growth. And you're not able to see it, I'm sure, but there's a new growth right here. And I could see more down below. I'm trying to. I've been spraying them often, and I'm watering regularly. I'm trying to do it on a once-a-week schedule, and I sit them in the wash tub over here, and I just spray the crap out of it, and I let them soak, and then I come down and I spray them again so that it really moistens the media. So they seem to be enjoying it. I'm getting a lot of aerial roots. That I'm keeping a little bit more happy by doing it like that. It's kind of what I do upstairs on the kitchen sink, except it's down here. And here I have the fertilizer water. Upstairs I don't have the fertilizer water. Alright, now what one is this one? This one is a Brassia. This one I've only had flower once, and it wasn't getting the best care, and it's still not, but I repotted it, and now I'm getting like a beautiful new growth. I'm very happy to say that on this new growth, I used to have a lot of scale insect, but there's no scale at all. So again, this spray is really working magic with my collection, and I'm so happy that I started using it. So I've got also a new growth on this side, and I hope that it continues. I hope that my success continues and I'm able to get this to bloom. The Brassia has a really beautiful spider-like flower. I think it's called a spider orchid. I think that's what it's called. So we saw this one, and then the last one is my Zygopetalum. I used to have two of these, but scale insect so bad, mealybugs so bad. Anyway, this one here is the one that I kept. The other one I threw away. I actually just repotted this a few months ago, and I made a video of it. But the video was so boring. So boring. I was sitting there, I was trying to edit, and I'm like, I don't even want to watch this, so I didn't even bother putting it up for you guys. Because if it's boring for me, oh my god, it must be terribly boring for you. So anyway, I repotted it. It's the same situation as the Paphiopedilum, where it was growing over the side of the pot, and then the roots would start to grow, but then they wouldn't do anything because there was no moisture, and, excuse me. So it was starting to struggle. You could see it in the bulbs, the pseudo bulbs. They were more shriveled than they should be, and I would water, but obviously, if the roots aren't developing, what's the point? So I repotted it in a mixture of bark and moss, and I'm starting to see root development through the pot. I'm not sure whether you're going to be able to see, but there's a root around here, finally touching the edge. But yeah, this one here, I saw another one, but it's finally starting to take hold. I put a piece of a metal plant spike, or flower spike here, plant spike, to kind of hold it from wobbling so that it felt a little bit more secure. I don't know that it really ever needed it, but now the roots are starting to grab, so it's going to be a much healthier plant. But this new growth, it doesn't have any signs of mealybugs. It doesn't have any scale on it, so it's looking so good. I can't wait to have blooms again. There's another new growth. This time it didn't flower, but next time I'm sure it will flower. The Zygopetalum flowers usually non-stop for me. But because I had two plants before, when one was in bloom, the other one was just getting out of bloom, and they usually flower twice a year, so they were kind of in opposite mode. So I would always have something happening all the time, which was a lot of fun. But now I only have the one. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So I have other orchids going on, but these are the ones that are the most interesting right now, and I'll bring you in and I'll show you some more later on. But well, you'll see them in the plant tour when we do that. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a little bit long, but I just wanted to show you some of the things that are making me happy right now. And soon we're going to be outside, so you'll be able to see what's happening in the yard. I think you guys got a little bit of a sneak peek in my Christmas video, but my throat is dry. Yeah, I can't wait to show you. The deck is there, the hot tub is there, the fire pit is there, and then this spring I'm going to start digging all kinds of gardens in the backyard. So I'm very excited to show you that. And along the side of the house I think I'm going to do a cutting garden. So that should be a lot of fun. So I'm going to bring you along with me while we do that. Maybe not every step of the way, because that might be a little bit boring, but at least showing you what is happening. And I hope you guys enjoy that. So show me what you're growing. I'd love to see. Many of you are showing me or talking about your Amorphophallus. I want to see photos of these Amorphophallus on the Plants and Things What's Growing page. Tag me so that I can see them, because there's so many posts that get posted that I might not see everything. So if you tag me, I'll probably see it, even though I get tagged a lot. But anyway, it is what it is. I'd love to see them. Please post your photos to the Plants and Things What's Growing page. So cool to know what you guys are doing. Anyway, again, hope you enjoyed, and happy growing, everyone.